Welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into the fascinating history of Ethiopia, a country that dances to the beat of its own drum. And how better to explore this unique rhythm than through the lives of its leaders? From modern times to the historical past, we're going to uncover some intriguing facts about these influential figures. We're talking about emperors, revolutionaries, peacemakers, and everything in between. Each leader has left their mark on Ethiopia, shaping its destiny and leaving us with stories that are as captivating as they are complex. So buckle up, because we're about to embark on a historical rollercoaster ride through the heart of Ethiopia. Let's kick things off with Abiy Ahmed, Ethiopia's current prime minister. Abiy came to power in 2018 and hit the ground running. He inherited a nation yearning for change and delivered. One of his most significant moves was making peace with Eritrea. This wasn't just a handshake, it was a decades-long conflict resolved. Abiy earned a Nobel Peace Prize for his efforts, but peace is a constant hustle. Abiy's been working hard to promote peace within Ethiopia. He's tackled political reforms and released political prisoners. Some might say, hold up, this Abiy guy sounds too good to be true. And you know what? No one's perfect. Abiy's faced criticism, especially with ethnic tensions. Leadership isn't about being perfect, it's about progress. Abiy is trying to move Ethiopia forward. He's a reminder that there's always hope for a brighter future. Next up, we have Haile Mariam Desalegn, who took over the reins after the passing of the long-serving Prime Minister Meles Zenawi. Now, stepping into the shoes of a giant like Meles was no easy feat, but Haile Mariam handled the transition with grace and a steady hand. He continued many of Meles' economic policies, focusing on growth and development. Under his leadership, Ethiopia maintained its impressive economic growth, becoming one of the fastest-growing economies in Africa. But Haile Mariam wasn't just about following in someone else's footsteps. He understood that times were changing and Ethiopia needed to adapt. He introduced some political reforms aiming to create a more inclusive and democratic society. However, his tenure wasn't without its challenges. Protests erupted in different parts of the country, fueled by concerns over human rights and political freedom. Despite the pressures, Haile Mariam made the difficult decision to step down in 2018. He believed that fresh leadership was needed to address the country's growing pains. His decision to prioritize the nation's well-being over his own political ambitions spoke volumes about his character. Haile Mariam might not have been the most flamboyant leader, but his quiet dedication to Ethiopia's progress deserves recognition. Now let's talk about Meles Zenawi, a man who loomed large over Ethiopian politics for over 2 decades. Meles was a complex figure, a revolutionary who came to power after overthrowing the Derg regime in 1991. He was a man of contradictions, a staunch advocate for economic development who was also criticized for his human rights record. But one thing's for sure, Meles was a visionary leader who left an undeniable mark on Ethiopia. Under his leadership, Ethiopia experienced remarkable economic growth. He implemented ambitious infrastructure projects, expanded access to education and healthcare, and lifted millions out of poverty. Meles believed in a strong, centralized government, and he wasn't afraid to consolidate power. This, of course, drew criticism from human rights groups, who accused him of suppressing dissent and limiting political freedoms. Love him or hate him, Meles was a force to be reckoned with. He was a skilled politician, a shrewd strategist, and a passionate advocate for his country. His legacy remains a subject of debate, but there's no denying that he played a pivotal role in shaping modern Ethiopia. Chapter 4. Mengistu Haile Mariam the Iron Fist. Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're about to step into a dark chapter of Ethiopian history. Mengistu Haile Mariam, the leader of the Derg military junta, ruled Ethiopia with an iron fist from 1974 to 1991. Mengistu's regime was marked by brutal repression, human rights abuses, and a period known as the Red Terror. Thousands of Ethiopians were imprisoned, tortured, or killed during this time. His economic policies were disastrous, leading to widespread famine and economic decline. Mengistu's paranoia and ruthlessness knew no bounds. He saw enemies everywhere and ruled with an iron fist, crushing any opposition with brutal force. His regime became synonymous with fear, oppression, and human suffering, but even the most oppressive regimes eventually crumble. In 1991, a coalition of rebel groups led by Meles Zenawi overthrew Mengistu, forcing him to flee the country. Mengistu's reign serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the human cost of tyranny. Chapter 5. Haile Selassie, the Conquering Lion. Meet Haile Selassie, the last emperor of Ethiopia. Revered as the Lion of Judah, he was seen as a descendant of King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba. He ruled Ethiopia from 1930 to 1974. A modernizer, he pushed for reforms and advocated for Africa globally. He introduced Ethiopia's first constitution and helped establish the Organization of African Unity. A man of contradictions, he balanced modern and traditional roles. Loved by many, he also faced criticism for handling social inequalities. Haile Selassie was also a religious icon. Central to Rastafarianism, he is revered as the embodiment of God. Rastafarians see him as the King of Kings leading to liberation. His legacy inspires globally, both politically and spiritually. Chapter 6. Menelik II, the Unifier. Let's rewind the clock even further to meet Menelik II, the emperor who secured Ethiopia's place on the world map. Menelik, crowned emperor in 1889, inherited a divided nation. But this wasn't a man to shy away from a challenge. He set about unifying the various Ethiopian kingdoms through diplomacy, strategic alliances, and yes, even a bit of forceful persuasion. Menelik understood that a divided Ethiopia was a vulnerable Ethiopia. He knew that European powers were hungry for colonies, and he was determined to keep Ethiopia independent. And this brings us to the Battle of Addis Ababa in 1896, a pivotal moment in African history. The Italian forces, armed with modern weaponry, were confident of victory. But Menelik, with his strategic brilliance and the unwavering support of his people, led Ethiopia to a decisive victory, crushing the Italian invasion and securing Ethiopia's sovereignty. The Battle of Addis Ababa sent shockwaves around the world. It was a testament to African resilience, a beacon of hope against colonialism. Menelik's victory resonated far beyond Ethiopia's borders, inspiring resistance movements across the continent. He became a symbol of African strength and independence, a legacy that continues to inspire generations. Chapter 7. Johannes IV, the Defender. And now, for our final stop on this historical journey, let's meet Johannes IV, a man who dedicated his life to defending Ethiopia's sovereignty. Johannes came to power in 1872, inheriting a nation facing threats from within and outside its borders. He fought tirelessly to unify the country, quelling internal rebellions and consolidating his power. But Johannes wasn't just fighting for internal unity, he was also facing down external threats. The Egyptians, with their eyes on expanding their territory, posed a significant challenge. Johannes, a devout Christian, saw this as a holy war, a fight to protect Ethiopia's religious and cultural identity. He led his troops with unwavering courage, repelling multiple Egyptian invasions and safeguarding Ethiopia's independence. Johannes's reign was marked by constant warfare, a testament to his unwavering commitment to defending his nation. He died a warrior's death in 1889, leading his troops in battle against Sudanese invaders. Johannes IV might not be as well known as some of the other leaders on our list, but his contributions to Ethiopia's survival during a turbulent period cannot be overstated. He was a true patriot, a defender of his faith, and a guardian of his people's freedom. Chapter 8. The legacy of Ethiopian leaders. So there you have it, a glimpse into the lives of some of Ethiopia's most remarkable leaders. From emperors to revolutionaries, peacemakers to dictators, each leader has left their mark on this fascinating nation. Their stories are a testament to Ethiopia's resilience, its ability to rise above challenges and forge its own path. As we've seen, leadership is not a straight line. It's messy, it's complex, and it's often filled with contradictions. But one thing is certain, the legacy of these leaders continues to shape Ethiopia's present and will undoubtedly influence its future. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed learning about these remarkable leaders, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more historical insights. See you next time.